Welcome back to Small Circle. I'm Mark Small, your host with 3 new movements, repeating these one-legged stances in Tai Chi Chuan. We want to think about the lower body supporting the upper body supporting the lower body. So in today's lesson, we're going to go down in order to go up. Paradoxically, we go up in order to go down. And so we think about how we elongate the body, starting from this single whip position. I want to think about how I'm moving down into this semi-squat, back, sit stance, and then forward and up. To stand one-legged, Golden Cock stands one leg. We think about going down as if I'm going to open this back hip joint, let the knee come out over the toe and sink straight down. So when I'm sinking, I want to sink straight down, tucking under my pelvis like I'm perched, sitting on a stool. I want to keep myself down into the front leg, use my yin-yang feet, toes in, toes out, before I move to stand up. So let's look at white snake creeps down from the single whip position. Bow stance 90 degrees, open the back foot, then shift the weight back, bring the weight down and back, forward, pulling in the back toes, turning out the front toes, yin-yang feet. Again, from single whip, open the back, and sink the weight down to come forward again. The front hand is waxing your car, that hard part to get down by the door, under the door. You want to think about circling your hand in this manner, and white snake creeps down. So, from single whip, white snake creeps down, circle the front hand, incline the weight forward. I want to be moving this direction 90 degrees to the left side, rather than falling forward to 0. I would lean forward this way to get the car waxed down low. We're going to move down again, this time thinking about how we use the inner thigh. My weight's forward, and when I come forward onto my inner thigh, I don't push forward, I continue to push down. This is very important today's lesson. Think about sinking into the front inner thigh rather than pushing the weight forward into the knee. You don't want to aggravate the knees. We're nurturing our joints in Tai Chi Chuan. So we'll nurture our way down in a modest fashion from single whip. Here, just squatting down and staying down into the front inner thigh before turning. Now, the way to, for demonstration purposes, dramatize this low snake creeps down move is to push out the front leg. So if you wish to, if it's comfortable, from white snake creeps down, push out the front heel and go lower, waxing the car more. But you don't have to go low. You can just do what's comfortable from here. Open the back leg, come down, white snake creeps down. I don't want to adjust my back leg. My teacher says only push out the front leg if I'm going very low. So we're thinking down into the front inner thigh in order to come up. The subsequent moves, standing one leg, all require us to use the sacrum linking to the heel. I want to bring my knee up pretty high, above my waist level high, preferably. And when I'm stepping, I want to step again into the front leg, not into the back leg. So from this white snake creeps down, today's lesson, white snake creeps down, and waxing the car, back toes in, front toes out. Bring your hands together to bring upward, one leg standing. Step into the front leg, inner thigh, then shift the weight back. Other leg, standing. Step into the front leg, stepping back for the next move. So 3 steps, if we do just the legs, from white snake creeps down, open, sitting into the front inner thigh, turning, standing, use the floor, use the toes on the floor, coming up, stepping back into the front inner thigh, then push back, and using the floor again, stepping back into the front inner thigh. So think about using the legs. Let's go again from single whip, White snake creeps down. In this case, my arms are extended and my palms pass each other. My teacher used to say, as praying palms pass each other. I want my arms to pass each other and then separate for extending one leg. It's important to keep the arms extended, not here, back, but out, here. Let's go again from white snake creeps down. And back toes in, front toes out. Square the hips and torso at 90 degrees. Let your hands pass each other. Again, stepping into the front leg, let your hands pass each other. And stepping into plane across hands, high pat on horse. We're going to look at these moves as well. How the upper body controls the lower body and vice versa, how the lower body sustains the upper body. Again, please. White snake creeps down. Golden cock stands one leg. Golden cock stands one leg. And stepping back, plane across hands. When we're thinking about plane across hands, we're making a trap or folding our arms. We do the same in ward off right side, catching hands with our hand near the elbow level high to trap or hold wrist and elbow and pulling back. Same here, we're pressing on the horizontal plane before we come diagonally for high pat on horse. It's called high pat for a reason. You want to think about this idea of curry combing or bringing the hand over pretty high, scooping the arms in and keeping the elbows suspended. A lot of space in here. My teacher used to say 100-pound sack of potatoes under here. And you're holding your arms delicately to counterbalance for the lower body. Let's look at plane across hands from this last step in, holding golden cock, one leg. I'm stepping, turning the body 45 degrees before I square back, half bow stance on heel, 90 degrees. Again, standing one-legged, turn the upper body to 45. Extend the left hand, leaving it out in front, draw up the right, and then set down the right arm onto the left forearm, 90 degrees, left side, plane across hands. Again, please. Golden cock. And plane across hands. Good, good. We think about seating the wrists and the ankles. When I step back from golden cock, I'm going to bring my foot and my ankle and my wrists in harmony. Think about them turning. This is called seating the wrists. Again, from golden cock, whenever you step, extend, 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 extend. Then seat the wrists before you shift the weight. Again. Turning the upper body, seating the wrists and ankles into the front inner thigh and push back. Don't be too quick to shift the weight back. Again. Turning, turning, turning. Seat, ankles and wrists. Sink into the front inner thigh. Then shift back. Plane across hands. Let's go back from the single whip posture and put these movements together. White snake creeps down. Golden cock stands one leg. Golden cock stands one leg. Plane across hands. Good. Again, please. Golden cock and plane across hands. Half bow stance and heel, 90 degrees, left side. I'm using my toes on the floor to move upward from single whip to golden cock. I'll use the floor. Use your toes on the floor. Same thing in retreat. I use the front toes, get as much purchase as I can. Sometimes I describe this as wiping peanut butter off on the side of the jar. I'm going to wipe and use the floor both directions. Right? Using the floor, use your toes. So again, looking at this downward and upward procession of movements, white snake creeps down in order to go up. Pull in the back toes, turn out the front toes, Buddha palms, praying palms, and then up. And down into the front leg, up again. And plane across hands. High pat on horse. We're going to come back to this standing one leg position. And this curry combing or realignment is done by drawing an arc on the floor. Use the half bow stance on toe. Remember, we practice here in warm-ups, and I want to turn my whole body as a unit, keeping extension, the toe out, weight down into the stanchion leg. That way I can reach more fully. Now there's one other element in how the lower body supports the upper body, and that is in the way we define our sit stance. So while you're resting your leg, while you're working this movement, I want you to think about moving through a compression step from this standing one leg. I'm going to sit, 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 and reach, outreach at the same time my arms are outreaching. Every time I reach, preceding movements, white snake puts out tongue, reach with my foot, I reach with my hand. All of the movement series, reaching with a foot, reaching with a hand. Wave hands through clouds, preceding movement. I'm going to step, I'm going to move, reach with my foot, reach with my hand in opposition. So think about reaching with a foot, reaching with a hand in this series. Again from single whip. For the new movement, wave hands through clouds. So we're going to move our hands spiraling in this beautiful series, turning the waist to step laterally to the side. 1 and 2 and 3 times. Wave hands through the clouds before we single whip. Repeat movements. And white snake creeps down. And extend the arms, reach with the hands, reach with the hands, reach with the hands. Reach with the hands, reach with the hands, and golden cock. Reach with the hands, extending, and high, plane across hands to high pat on horse. Keep the arms extended. Here, after the kick with toe, press, 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 press the hands forward as you step into high pat on horse. On this side, next week's movements, you want to think about how from a standing leg we compress into our sit stance or back stance. So the challenge is use the lower body to support the upper body and think about how we move then in this idea of downward to go upward, upward to go downward. When we're retreating, front inner thigh, keep the weight down. Again, please. White snake creeps down. Golden cock stands one leg. Golden cock stands one leg. Plane across hands. High pat on horse. Kick with toe and compress, compress, compress. Reaching at the same time. Again, please. White snake creeps down. Golden cock and golden cock. And plane across hands to high pat on horse. Separation kick with toe and compress to plane across hands a second time. Think about these movements in transition. Last week we came from the big waist turning, bowing the arms, spiraling the arms in cloud hands. From this single whip position, we move to our left and stepping together, then we stepped out. 1, 2, 3 times. Single whip, we repeat. Think about how our hands are bowing and seating through the turning of the waist and wave hands through the clouds. Same kind of bowing we have in today's lesson. I'm going to seat my wrists, and this movement of not breaking the wrist too much, of keeping what's called a fair maiden's wrist, allows me to move through a spiraling of my forearm while I'm bowing my arm. Here I'm spiraling, my arms closed, while I'm bowing my arms. From here, again, here, and here, spiraling the arm while I'm bowing the arm to an upward bow, from a frontward bow, from a downward bow to an upward bow again. Upward bow, downward bow in the right arm, and think about spiraling as I bow the arms front, spiral the arms out, and reach, bowing the arms and compressing. So I'm going to think about this extension in the upper body as if a tightrope walker were twisting or spiraling or holding the pole, long 10-foot tightrope walker pole. Keep this extension through the arms and feel that you're spiraling with a nice straight wrist. This idea of bowing the arms and turning the waist at the same time is real important to link the distal points with the core of the body. 2 more times today's lesson. From single whip, white snake creeps down. Golden cock stands one leg. Golden cock stands one leg. Plane across hands, turn to 45, turn back to 90. Half bow stance on heel, half bow stance on toe, high pad on horse, scooping, kicking and compressing to plane across hands, second time. Next week's lesson, high pad on horse. Again, please. Single whip. White snake creeps down. Golden cock stands one leg. Golden cock stands one leg. And plane across hands. High pad on horse. Separation kick with toe. Think about stepping into these movements, forward, reaching with the hands while you're stepping and reaching with the foot. Extend yourself upward and downward at the same time and live these Tai Chi principles. Keep practicing. I salute you in your practice. See you next week on Small Circle.